better. So I welcome Kiran. Over to you, Kiran. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas, for the lovely introduction. Yeah, I can see about 72 are participating. Shall we go ahead then? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this interesting session. And let us make it interesting and interactive. Can you all hear me? Can I have an yes in the chat box? Perfect. All right. That's good. So let's get started. I'll be sharing the screen in a moment, and we can get started. Are you able to see the screen which I'm sharing? Vikas, are you there? Can you see the screen which I'm sharing?
And Kiran, no, I cannot see the screen or shared screen. If you can really check again from your side.
All right, give me a moment, please.
Yes, Kiran, it's getting in. Yes, we can see that now.
Okay.
You can make it full screen if you can make it PPT as in full screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's excellent.
Okay. Welcome again. And my name is Kiran, and uh, I am the founder of this organization called Outdoor World Sustainable Solutions. And yeah, let's go along. So the agenda for today is we look at objectives and a little bit of introduction of myself, and then we look at tourism from the eyes of the participants, go through the negative impact brought by tourism, and thereby the negative impacts leads us to why we come to responsible tourism. We look at why is it important. We discuss the case study. Case study is something which we have done ourselves, and then we look at how you can benefit from it all. Okay, and lastly we go for the key takeaways. All right, so responsible tourism. this is what the agenda will be like. We look at uh, understanding the concept, we see how we can raise awareness about it, and we see how we can understand the roles and responsibility of a responsible traveler and also as a student. Okay. Uh, can we have the participants telling us that what is the favorite destination? When we look at tourism, everyone has a destination in mind. Okay, and I too have a wonderful destination in mind, but I want the participants to say what is their favorite destination, and you can put it in the chat box. And I want you to also think about it. If you have gone there 10 years ago, I want you to see how it was. And if you have gone there recently, I want you to think about how it is right now. So can we have in the chat box your favorite destination in India? Because, we're going to talk about India and most of the destinations which we can relate to. So can we have some destination which is your favorite? Then we will see, like, how it was before, how it is now, and then we can come to the need for responsible tourism. Yes, can we have some?
You can put it on a chat, please.
Yeah, put your favorite destination, a mainstream destination, not something which is already sustainable, not something which is already responsible. Look at a mainstream destination which is your favorite, and from there we will try to see if we are all on the same page, if we see the same problems for the destinations, and how we can take it further. Yeah, can we have some responses? Are you able to access the chat box? Any responses about your favorite destination?
Is it possible to for you to see the response, Kiran?
I think I'm not able to see it here.
Okay, so Q&A, if you chat, you put it down, Q&A, if you see the Q&A bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there will be a window open, and
Right.
then
Okay, I'm seeing it here. Right. Some of you had said Goa. Okay. All right. Okay. So let us take Goa itself. Okay. I think, like, Goa is something which is known to everyone. Most of the people have been here before, right? So we will look at Goa as a destination. And when you look at Goa as a destination, doesn't this look familiar? Look at the beaches. When it is season, this is how it is going to be. And yeah, these are the environmental impact. The second photograph here, this is what is happening. Why are people going to Goa? People are going there for the beaches, to have fun, for drugs, for sex. So what is happening to the community? Just think about it. If you are staying in Goa, what are you going through? Because people are just coming here for all this, just to have fun. So just think about what is happening to the community there. The third picture where you see is actually a realistic picture. This is happening in Karnataka. It's happening in Bandipur, where the fauna and the flora and the animals are getting displaced because of tourism. And the fourth picture, which you're seeing, the traffic jam, is in Ooty. During season, if you have to go to Ooty, then there is a big, huge traffic jam all the time. Okay, so these are some of the negative impacts which you see all the time. Right. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So I'm not able to increase the size of it here. Yeah. So there is always an environmental impact. Some of these are written here. Okay. So similarly, environmental impact is one of it. There are social impacts of it, and there are other impacts which are affecting the community, the culture. So then, what do you do? So there are many negative impacts. There are positive impacts also. So the when you look at it, when you look at a mainstream destination, if you will see that the negative side of tourism is much more than the positive side of tourism. So what do you do? Should we give up on tourism? Definitely not. Just because there is negative side of tourism, we can't give up on it. So what do we do? What is the road forward? You know, this is where responsible tourism comes in. Okay, and let's go to the next slide. Because how do I make it full screen on this?
Mm. Must be having down somewhere the presentation mode button.
Yeah, this is not clear.
View, go in the view here on the bar after this slideshow.
1 minute.
No, no time. Slideshow view something.
Yeah.
For you can click from the beginning. You know, from the beginning there was a button there. No, go back. I think slideshow. Go on the slideshow. Yeah, this one.
Right.
Yes,
So
and then from beginning, click on from beginning,
yeah,
and then you can use the arrow for the your keyboard arrow. Yeah,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So we were here. We were talking about the negative impact. Okay, and from the negative impacts, yeah. So we were talking about how the negative impact is much more than the positive impact of tourism. Don't you think it's true with the same thing? Whatever destination you've chosen and which you have in your mind, think about it. Today, you will see there is a big negative side of tourism. Yes, there is economic development which is happening. Okay, people have got jobs, people have got the money, but there is a lot of negativity happening, right? So we come to the importance of responsible tourism. What is responsible tourism? There are three layers of it. Okay, there are three pillars which are very, very important. One is the economic, environmental, and community. Now, responsible tourism looks at minimizing the negative impact of all these things. Tourism anyway brings you all this, economic development, and it brings in community development. But as responsible tourism professionals, we are more bothered about how do we minimize these negative effects. Let's get into the definition. I like this definition very much. What is definition of responsible tourism? Making better places for people to live and better places for people to visit. So it kind of like covers everything. If I am going to a place and I'm going to enjoy that place, I can only enjoy that place when the people there are also enjoying that place. Because a traveler goes there as a atithi, and atithi devo bhava, that is what we always preach. If the community is not in peace with itself, then how is the traveler going to enjoy this place? So it is very important that we look at it from this point of view. How do we make communities better? How do we make places better for not only the locals, but for also the travelers who come in? Yeah. So again, we are talking about in detail what responsible tourism is all about. It comes from the Cape Town Declaration, which happened in 2002, and this is an accepted norm all over the globe now. So these are some of the goals. I think it is very, very important for us to look at these goals and to align ourselves to some of these goals. Okay. Vikas, can we have a question? Can we ask someone if they would like to be entrepreneurs, and if they want to be an entrepreneur, can we have them come over and on the screen and talk to us about um, what actually makes them want to be an entrepreneur, and what do they want to achieve, and then we'll see how to go about aligning it to the goals.
Right, right. So I'm sure you got the point that what Kiran wanted to ask, that raise your hand if you are trying to become an entrepreneur, and what you want to achieve, what kind of a solution or problem you're trying to solve, and for the business or community or whatever kind of entrepreneur you want to be. Raise your hand. We will bring you on the stage and let's discuss. So, guys, and if you already are into entrepreneur journey, that you can always share, you can come. So guys, just raise your hand, and we would like you to come on the stage and share your views. Yes.
Even if it is an entrepreneur who doesn't have these goals in mind, even if it is somebody who wants to be a social entrepreneur, you can come and you can talk and you can say why you want to be a social entrepreneur, and then we can probably connect it to the goals and take it forward.
Exactly. Also, if you see these 17 goal, and one of the goal is very much attached with you, you always want back of your mind that you want to support, let's say, gender equality. So just that also, we want to you to really share your thought and view so that we can, relate with the goals. So yes, Shuesh is there with us. Shuesh, yes, over to you, Shuesh.
Uh, yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Sir, I'm doing I'm kind of a startup. I have kind of a startup, and it's related to heritage walks. I'm trying to promote heritage tourism in my city and the neighboring areas.
Okay.
So now I've been doing it since last 1.5 years now,
Okay.
and so I hope to convert this into a bigger business someday, and I hope to become an entrepreneur in the coming years.
Okay. Now, were you aware of the sustainable development goals? Did you try and solve some of the goals, or how did you choose upon this?
Sir, I was aware of the goals before, and one thing which I focus in my heritage walks, I focus on keeping the or maintaining the cleanliness and the of the heritage places. So whenever I take people on heritage walks, I encourage them to not litter the places, and if possible, I carry a garbage bag with me, and We all also do a cleanliness drive in the heritage places.
Okay.
So I don't know if it will fit into any of these goals or not, but yeah, this is what I try to do.
It fits in. See, if you look at goal number 3, it is about good health and well-being of the community. It is also good health and well-being of the traveler who's coming there, right? And that is
Okay.
goal number 3. Goal number 6, you look at it, it's clean
Clean
water and
water.
sanitation, right? Because if you
Yes,
are
sir.
going to if you're going to leave the litter there itself, it is going to definitely get into the water system and then spoil the water as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at, I think you're also looking at um, partnership to achieve goals also, because the heritage buildings you don't own, you're trying to collaborate with people, and then also collaborate and give a good experience to the people who come on your tours and walks, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what other thing, I think you can also relate it to climate action also. If you're taking any positive action towards maintaining the environment, there is an impact on the climate action as well. So this is how that is very good, Suyas, that you came and then you spoke about what you want to do.
Yes.
Right. Thank you for that.
Thank you,
Because
sir.
can we also try? Can we get one more person to come who wants to be in tourism? Okay, in tourism, and if they're already doing something, they can talk about it and what problem are they solving, or in which part of the sustainable tourism goal you want to operate or you're already operating. Then we will take that. If there is somebody there, it'll be
Yes.
good to share that as well.
Already in tourism, I think here Viren is here. Viren, if you can please share your view, Viren, and it would be nice. You are doing excellent job already in tourism. So, Viren, please. Yes, Viren is here. So Suesh based in Bhopal,
Okay.
Kiran, Suesh based in Bhopal, and he's a student of tourism, masters in tourism administration. He's doing MBA, and at the same time he's in startup for this heritage walk.
Wonderful.
So that's what about Suesh. Viren is here. Yes, Viren. Over to you, Viren.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Viren.
Hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you, Viren.
Yes, we
Hello?
can.
Oh, fantastic. So, hey guys, as Vikas has talked about me, so I'm basically the founder of a company called Xamarin of Bombay Tours, which was started with the unique aim of bringing people together through cultural understanding. So the whole aim is not just to connect people to each other through etymology and philosophy, and I think take history to the next level, make it more fun, but at the same time help people identify not just the clients to the destination but the locals to the destination as well. So in because as long as the locals feel a part of the destination, they are going to preserve it so that I can come tomorrow and bring some more people in. So what we try to do is we try to make sure that locals are also involved, so that, like for example, if there are like women, for example, who like to start up their own restaurants,
Yeah.
or they start on the side and they sell some idlis or something like that, we try our best to stimulate the economy by buying stuff from them and giving it to our clients. So in this way it hits two birds with one stone. Bird number one, it makes the woman feel more confident, and it actually tells this society around that, look, she's actually doing something as an inspiration, so let us also try something similar. And b, it also hits the client saying that, look, I'm not a United Nations observer status, I am actually coming and being a part of this community, and I'm actually getting something out of this. And the money that I'm paying to my guide is not going in only in his pocket, it's actually going to the community, and I can see it happening in front of my eyes, not some behind the scenes checks and online transfers. So that's one thing that we do. But the thing is that at least the problems that we are facing is that there's very little awareness that such a thing can happen, especially since locals themselves have a very negative impression of their own city. For example, slums in Bombay.
Yeah.
Whenever I try, the more people who come and try to visit a slum are those who are not from Bombay. Those who are from Bombay itself say that, oh, you need a tetanus shot before you enter into the slum, right?
Yeah.
So those who are in from Bombay saying there is so much to see in Bombay, why are you taking them to such a dirty place? But when they actually enter in, they feel like they're in the Vatican inside Rome, which is a city inside the city.
Yeah.
And there's so much to observe, so much, and they realize that the people in the slums have the same aspirations as us, just that their buildings are a little more different than what we are living in.
Absolutely.
So how do we actually go ahead and create that awareness, especially amongst locals? Even people living in the slums say, why are you coming over here? In front of my clients,
Yeah.
they say, why are you coming here? Why are you taking our pictures? You will go outside like Munna Bhai and say, poor people, happy people, etc. And you end up discrediting us. So it counters the entire initiative of trying to be sustainable. If we are not able to, let's say, convince the locals
Yeah.
itself that they need to think well about their own destination.
Yeah. True. I understand that there is a problem which you're facing. Viren, what I would suggest is, like, take one or two of these sustainable development goals. Okay. When you're talking about taking people to a slum, okay, that is one part of it where you're working and where the tourism is happening. But can you see or like, can you work on one of these goals? Okay, let
I
us
have
take,
already started, sorry, I've already started working on quality education,
yeah,
wherein we are actually volunteering with local schools,
right,
where our clients go and teach English to
right,
the students living in the slums as a part of our experiences. And
wonderful,
it's a complementary segment to our tours.
absolutely. And you can also like look at clean water and sanitation, because in the slums that is also another problem which they have. You can look at goal number 17, which would be partnering with them in such a way
Yes,
that
but you have to
they're also,
understand that we are small companies. This is
yeah,
what you're saying sounds very nice if it is a large company that is a multinational, or if it is a team. Here you have me, just like Suyash. I am also a one-man company.
yeah,
We are literally the Durga. Okay, from the PR to the actual groundwork to the behind the scenes and
yeah,
the actual curation.
yeah,
So there's a limited amount of work that we can do as individuals.
yeah,
So a lot of your sustainable goal developments, which I'm not criticizing, but what I'm
yeah,
saying is it's about the wrong audience. If it is an individual company,
yeah,
or just a person who has a dream of coming up and trying to do something, because these look
right.
like a wish list rather than an actual practical goal that a person can set up.
Okay, Viren, I'll come to that. And see, one of the reason why I am also in this conclave is not because I represent a multinational company, or not because like, I work for the government or anything. I am an entrepreneur just like you and me. The reason why I'm here is, if I can do it, so can you, and so can everybody else in this audience today. We'll come back to this, Biren. Park your questions right there, because I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm a solo entrepreneur, and I did whatever I did all by myself. I didn't have the backing of the government. I could actually say that I did it in spite of the government, because I had a
So
lot of,
it would be nice if you had like a roadmap or something for us on a similar way of how you did it. So it
yeah,
at least it inspires us to
yeah.
look at similar ways in which we can tackle our chosen list of things to do for the community.
Sounds perfect, Viren. So what I'll be doing next is, I've taken a couple of questions. We will go to the case study. We will figure out how I did what I did, and it is very, very simple. Okay, if I can do it, I keep repeating it. Anyone can do it. Okay, because I did it as a solo entrepreneur. The firm which I set up is a uh, one person company. Okay, so I tie up with people and go forward. So Viren, it was nice talking to you.
Likewise.
We'll move to the next slide. Hang in there, and then we will talk about the case study, and then we can come back. Okay? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Okay. So we move to the case study. Because it is, I want to be an inspiration for people like Viren, and people for I want to be an inspiration for people who want to do something by themselves. Because tomorrow, and because of the COVID, most of the jobs are gone. Okay, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to go get things going. Okay, and when I say an entrepreneur, you have to have problem solving abilities, and the sky is the limit. Okay, a little about myself. I started my career with ITC. I have an MBA in marketing and tourism, and I started working because I love travel. So I'm a traveler, and I wanted to be connected to travel. So I joined ITC Windsor Manor, which is part of ITC Hotels. And then later on, I was in Club Mahindra. Then I was in a startup travel company. So basically, I got into all this. I did my role in the corporate world. And then I decided that, look, though tourism is booming, the community is not benefiting by it. The environmental protection is not happening, because we are talking about big companies. The money is all getting into the pockets of a few people, the listed companies. It is not really going into the hands of the community. So I quit my job. This was about 10 years ago. I quit my job, and then I decided that, okay, I made a list of all the, I said, okay, we were going to have about 10 destinations. Okay, we started in 2010. We said by 2020 we will have 10 destinations where uh, where responsible travelers can go to. So this was the vision, and with that vision I started this firm, Outdoor World Sustainable Tourism. And what did I do? I first started traveling. I traveled all over Karnataka. I'm from Karnataka, and I traveled all over Karnataka. and I wanted to make a map of 10 such destinations where we can do rural tourism or sustainable tourism or cultural tourism or responsible tourism. Basically, basically a non-mainstream place where a sustainable traveler can go, a responsible traveler can go, and then the community gets benefited by it. And also the environmental protection happens because of our venture. So this was my checklist. I traveled all over Karnataka, stayed in remotest villages, and then made this list. Okay. So one of the places was Banavasi. Banavasi is also like the oldest documented oldest village in Karnataka. So what do I mean by documented oldest village in Karnataka? We have inscriptions which have been found, and these inscriptions are very old. So that is how Banavasi becomes one of the oldest destinations in Karnataka. Okay. And I don't know how many of you know this. Banavasi was mentioned both in Mahabharata as well as Ramayana. So it gives us another angle. Okay. Third angle was, this used to be, I'm in Karnataka, like I said, Bangalore is the capital now. But many years ago, Banavasi used to be the capital. Okay. So this is another beautiful thing. If something has to be the capital of a kingdom, then there will be something amazing in it, right? There will be rivers there. There will be natural, natural vegetation, which is good for agriculture. So there has to be certain elements if it has to be a capital city, right? So with that, we thought, okay, we will start with Banavasi first. Okay. Now, Banavasi was the capital somewhere in the 2nd to 3rd century for the kingdom called Kadambas. Kadambas were the first Kannadiga rulers. So their administration was in Kannada itself. Before that, yes, there were many rulers, but their administration was not in Kannada. They were part of, different dynasties, and Karnataka was like also a place which they ruled. Kadambas ruled over bigger part of Karnataka as well as Goa. So this is the place Banavasi. There's a beautiful temple there which dates back to about 2000 years, and this case study which I'm going to talk about is pertaining to this place called Banavasi, which is in Karnataka, which is very close to Gokarna. So this geography is, you come down Goa, you will find Gokarna, and from Gokarna, when you go upwards to the Western Ghats, you will find Banavasi. One more reason why we chose Banavasi is because there is this district, Banavasi comes in Uttar Kannada district, and this district has the maximum amount of forest compared to any other part in Karnataka, because one of our goals was also to protect the Western Ghats and to come out with the tourism models which are sustainable and which are replicable. So what you see here, the place which you see here was the tourism stay place, which was built by UNDP, United Nations Development Program, had some budgets, and they wanted to promote rural tourism. This was about almost about 15 years ago. They had this project that they developed rural tourism projects. Two such projects were chosen in Karnataka. One was in Hampi, which everyone would know of. It was like, must-see place. Second was Banavasi. So they built this infrastructure. It's a beautiful infrastructure which they built, and they handed it over to the community people. Okay, the community consisted of about 60 people coming from various walks of life. There were people from the temple. There were people who were agriculturists. There were people who were traders, teachers. Okay, so all type of people were there to run this place. So they tried to run it, and within 6 months, they shut it down. So I told you that I went on this Karnataka tour, and I visited all the places. When I went to Banavasi, I wanted to see this place. How is it? I wanted to, in fact, stay there. So I went there and I asked, how is this place? I want to stay there. Nobody knew who's got the key to the guest house. Okay, so they were calling each other up. Somebody would say, no, Munna has got it. Somebody would say that, no, Vadayarana has it. No, it is in the temple. So we couldn't even find the keys to go and see this place. Can you imagine that? And the traveler has already come. People don't know where is the key to this place. So it was in a very, very bad shape. And then finally, like, that time I couldn't see it. I came back again to see it. That time when I came, it was in shambles. They were like, bats. They were like, places where rats were there. And it has got a corridor in the center. They were like in the corridor, like there was almost like a forest grown. So this is the place. This is the place which we thought we can actually turn it around. So we went with this idea. When I say we, it was me and a couple of friends. The organization was pretty much me. But then, like, I had mentors. I always look at mentors who can mentor me and then take me or cut short the learning curve. And that is also what we precisely want to do with you all also. If there is something which we can do to cut short your, uh, to hasten your curve so that you can reach there faster. So we went there, and it took me almost a year to convince them that I am here for the long run. I have not come here to cheat them. So I had to go and convince the community. When I say community, they were like predominantly uh, the temple was definitely a part of this, because it was built on temple land. So the community comprised of people from the temple, it comprised of farmers, it comprised of businessmen. So I used to go almost like every weekend there, talk to them and say, give us a chance. We will turn it around, and we know how to do it. We will do it in a sustainable way. We understand what UNDP wanted to do. And we went about talking to them. Finally, after a year, they gave us this opportunity that, okay, fine, you guys can run this. And then we did a little bit of cleaning up. We did, we brought it to a level where people could stay in it, and we started doing tourism. Okay, now I'll go back and forth with the story. So when we started, it was very difficult. Like Viren said, it was one-man show. We had to do everything. We had to run the operations. We had to run the marketing. We had to also look at the problems which we were facing from the community. All these things were there. And like Viren said, when you go to Banavasi, and when we asked him, what else is there to see here? They were all cutting a sorry figure. They were like saying, sir, there is nothing here. You go to Sirsi or you go to Gokarna, there is nothing here. So why do you have to stay here? You go to Sirsi, there is a bar and restaurant, there is there are many things to see. There is nothing here. But the same thing today, when you go to Banavasi and say to the same kids or to the same elders, what is there in Banavasi? They'll tell you half an hour things. They'll say, okay, there is a Gudnapura lake here, there is a bird sanctuary here, there is a trekking place there, and you can swim in the river. So this is what happens, but it takes time. It takes time because like Rome was not built in a day. And so it all takes time. So slowly and steadily, when you make the community realize that, okay, the city dweller is coming there, not to experience the same thing which he's been experiencing in his city, but he's coming there to experience something which is very, very different. Once the community members understand this, they will also speak the same language. So it is very, very important for us to work with the community and understand what they are thinking, and also to make them unlearn and relearn. There's a very good quotation by Alvin Toffler. He says, the illiterate of the future is not someone who can't read or write. Everyone will be able to read or write with internet and other things. But the illiterate of the future is going to be someone who can't unlearn and relearn. So this is what we realized, that we had to make them unlearn a few things and relearn a few things. Okay. And also, one more thing which I want to tell you, like I said, Banavasi is a temple town. So what happens in a temple town in South India is we have quite a lot of Brahminical people staying here. So liquor and non-veg is not available here. Okay. But the village mentality is such that, if a villager is traveling, probably he thinks that, I should go and have liquor, I should go and have non-veg, because it is not something which he would be probably having it at home. So he thinks that, okay, when travelers come here, they'll ask for that. And because we don't give that, it's not a good destination. They should go to Gokarna, or they should go to Sirsi. This was their thinking before. So we had to change that also. Slowly we changed it in such a way. Today they're like, amazingly proud of their cuisine. They will talk about the cuisine. So we have the Havya community there. We have the Lingayat community there. We have the Gauda community there. Okay, we have Havyaks is nothing but Brahmin. So all this cuisine is something now they're proud of, and that they showcase it in such a way that they talk about it to the guest. Right. Okay. Now the second picture, what you see here is also very pertinent because we also wanted to align ourselves to some of the goals which we spoke about. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a single person. How do I align myself? Uh, how do I get these funds, or what do I do? So what we did was we tied up with Intel. The people whom you see below are all Intel employees. They had come there, and they come there often, and they do their corporate social responsibility activities there. Okay, what is corporate social responsibility? Corporate social responsibility is very simple. Every company has to earmark a certain percentage of their earnings for its social good. And nowadays, all of these corporate social responsibility are aligning uh, to these goals which we spoke about, to these 17 goals. So we said, okay, fine. You already have these goals. You're working with children. Please come over. We will do some program. Now, Intel is a computer company. Okay, what do they know? They make chips, and then so their employees may not know too many things. But we wanted their employees to come here, volunteer, spend their time, and also do some good to the community. So what you see there is a picture of students. We got about 1,000 students, some inside an auditorium, some we went to the schools. We taught them things about scholarship. Where can you get scholarship? So we taught them that. We taught them what is the importance of learning English? What is the importance of computer education? Because these are all very, very important. When you go to a village, when you especially come to Karnataka, they'll be very proud. They'll say, hey, I'm a Kannadiga. I know Kannada, so I will not learn any other language. Okay. So that is important. Kannada should be there in your heart. But at the same time, when you want to be a global citizen, English is necessary. Computer skills are necessary. So by bringing in all these people from Intel, we did this program. Okay. Now, so essentially, I was a social entrepreneur who went to a village, who saw an opportunity, and I said, okay, I'm going to partner with these people, and I'm going to bring Banavasi back to its own glory. So what we did was public-private partnership. We entered into a PPP model where we said that, okay, this is the revenue we'll give you every month, month on month. And then we said, okay, this is what we will do for the community. Okay, and this is what we will do to preserve the culture of this place. And we will ensure that the tourism develops in the right way in this place. Okay, so the picture here is we have taken a group to a farmer's place, and this farmer, trust me, he makes about 4.5 lakhs in just 2 acres of land. Just 2 acres. He doesn't have a well. He doesn't have. He just depends on the rain, but he makes 4.5 lakhs. How does he do it? This is what we show to people, that it is possible. There are people who are doing it. So these are all the experiences. Okay, I spoke about a little bit about the cuisine. We promote. This is a group. We take groups there, and then this was an immersion program where they stay for about 7 days, and they understand what is happening in the village. They try to understand the art and the artist, the story behind the art and the artist, and they also give inputs. Some of them are architects whom you see. They give design inputs to the artists in such a way that their art can move into the next generation as well. So cuisine, you see that the guests are actually gone into the house of a local and they're cooking there. So this is one program which we did, Prabha, where they stay for about 6 days, and they learn from the community. Yeah, so you can see it all starts by getting involved, right? Whatever program we do, community is always involved. We have a wonderful community because wherever there is a temple, there will be a thriving community, right? So you all know that. Some of you would have come from places where there are big temples. Also, we work with the NGOs there. Um, so there is an NGO which uh, we mentor them, we help them in marketing as well. The products you see are all made with the banana fiber. So they make books like this, okay, and these are all banana fiber. The outer coating is made by banana fiber. All these are done by mentally challenged people. Can you imagine? Yeah, if they can sit, for them, like, they are so disturbed that sitting in one place is itself is such a big thing. So this NGO brings them from their houses, makes them sit there, and they do all this. Of course, there is some certain support which is being given to them. These are all again some products which we make with the NGO. We help market them. One of the experiences that we give to these people who come and stay with us is that we take them to these places so that they become aware that all these things are happening. They buy, just the fact that somebody is buying their product, it itself is like helping the NGO and helping the mentally challenged people who are there. Okay. Now, we try to preserve the local art form. What you're seeing there, this is a lady called Shardaka. She works with pith. Pith is nothing but a form of root. Like, lotus grows in the water and the lotus has a root, and they'll all be like very, very, like they'll be like thermocol. So she works with that. And she comes from the Gudigar community. So wherever you have a temple, there will be a thriving community of artists. Okay, in Karnataka and Goa, they are called the Gudigar. Okay, a Gudi is a temple. Gudigar are the people who look after the temple. When I say look after, they look after it in terms of art. So what is this art? You require people to work with stone, right? Because stone carvings. So Gudigars are stone carvers. They are pith artists. Okay, they work with mud. So, and then what else? They work with wood. So all these people are there. So when we went around in Banavasi, we saw that there are quite a lot of these people, and they have to be exposed to the travelers, or else the travelers will not know what is the connection between the temple and the art, temple and the artist, the stories of the artist. So we make it a point to have workshops with them. We tried to make memorabilia and mementos. That did not work because they are very, very busy. So we make workshops. So suppose 2 or 3 people are coming, we take them to the artist. You can actually sit with the artist, learn about exchanging stories. It is not just one way communication. You can talk to them about your stories. You can actually understand what they are doing. So it's going to be dual way. And again, like, part of the experience is also taking them to the temple. There are plenty of temples because this place has a documented history of about 2000 years. There are plenty of ruins, forts, and religious places which we take them to. It is not just Hindu temple. There are Jain bastis. There are Buddhist places. So we take them there and show them all this. That this is our way of preserving the local art forms. And we've also try and work with the local experiences. What are the local experiences? Okay, you can go to a potter. Okay, you can even go a simple thing like going into the house of the people, and every house here has a well, and then trying to draw water out of it is an experience. Or taking a bullock cart ride, or swimming in the river. So all these are experiences which we have woven into it. Yeah, this is another slide. The the shop which these are our guests, and they're directly buying from the artist. And when you're directly buying for an artist, one thing that happens is you're very sure that there is no middleman, and you go overboard and you buy a lot of things. These people picked up souvenirs for almost everybody in their family. The second slide, the second thing which you're seeing is a shop. They make khadi. From khadi, they make all type of clothes. The one which I'm wearing is also the same thing. They're just about 1 hour drive from where we are, and they make khadi garments, and they're also dyed naturally. So this is another thing which people need to see. So there is a charka there. You can go there. You can weave. You can actually find out how handloom is made. So all these are the experiences, and quite a lot of people when they come here, they're enamored by this place. Okay, conservation. Uh, the gentleman whom you see here is a scientist, and he works for Federation of Revitalization of Local Health Tradition. So what they do is they try to preserve, they try to actually research medicinal plants. So there was one temple where there was Agastya's idol. Agastya is supposed to be the sage who worked with the medicine. So we realized that there must be medicinal plants around. So we got this gentleman, and we were able to discover this Philanthus megacarpus, which was not found in Karnataka. It was discovered in Kerala, but this gentleman discovered it here, and he wrote a paper on it. And that part of land is now being protected because we know that Philanthus megacarpus is growing there. So these are some of the things which we do with the conservation. We also have adopted a small place which is called the Pampa Vana, which is a biodiversity park. And then we are slowly and steadily over the years we are increasing the biodiversity of that region. Before it was one type of trees were growing there. Now we have made it very, very biodiverse. And then yeah, so these are some of the things as an individual which we are able to do. And every time when there is a group, we also do Shramdan. We also encourage people to volunteer because it is very, very important. Volunteers not only learn, but they also can contribute a lot to the community as well. Yeah. So when I'm talking about Banavasi, it is not that just rural and art and all that. We also have some amazing places. There is Yana Caves, which is like Batu Caves in Malaysia. We have highest waterfalls in the sense highest number of waterfalls is only there in Uttar Kannada district. So we take them to mainstream places also. We take them to waterfalls. We take them to Yana Caves. So all this is done, and you also do all this so that we're not becoming boring in the eyes of someone. So we try and accommodate everyone. If a family is coming, okay, maybe the elders would like the art and the artists, maybe the children don't. So you have to give everything to everyone. So our platter has everything. You can go to the bird sanctuary, which is nearby, which is like a hidden secret. Nobody even knows that there is a bird sanctuary there. It's called Gudavi Bird Sanctuary. You can Google it. And there is a beautiful story about this waterfall. It's called the Lusington Falls because he discovered it about 200 years ago. He was a Brit, and Britishers ruled that place as well. This is the only place in India where you can see a moonbeam. A lot of people may not know what is a moon beam. It's a rainbow which you can see in the moonlight. Okay, rainbow usually comes when there is sunlight, but it also comes when there is a moonlight, when it's a full moon. Okay, and you can see it here. So these things are amazing. People don't even know about it. So these are woven into the experiences. You can see tenting there in the allowed forest spaces. Yeah. So what all did we do to promote culture and history? There were no village walks in that area. We started the village walks. So part of the village walk is to walk into people's house and see how they're living, and also have a meal with them. Okay, and then we have three type of houses there, people who are not economically well off, middle income, and then the rich people. So we walk into their houses and see the way the architecture is built. We understand everything, right? And what else? We have tied up with the Goa also to Goa sustainable tourism operators so that we can do Kadamba trails. And these are the temples which you're seeing. Okay, so yeah, we are trying to reduce the rural and urban, the gap between the rural and the urban communities. These people who are tourists have actually come from Italy. We tried to tie up with some universities abroad so that they can come. This is a photograph from Banavasi itself, and these people are professors from Torino University. They used to come. They have an Indian subject and they have to study India. They used to come to Varanasi every year, and it used to be really crowded, and they could not really get a rural immersion into the Indian lives because the students have to come every year. So we tied up with them. We said, look, Varanasi is very similar to Banavasi, and we tied up with them, and every year they were coming till the Corona event happened. They were coming. So few people come and they interact, and then they go back. They learn. Yeah. Now we'll talk about scaling up and replicating. Well, I told you that we wanted to do it in 10 places. We were not very successful in doing it in 10 places. So what we did is we thought the way to scale up and to replicate is to tie up with NGOs and work with them to do responsible tourism by the NGO. So I'll give you a small case study. There are quite a lot of Devdasis in Hampi. So we work with an NGO there, and we have trained about 70 people there. And these are all coming from Devdasi's children, or they could be Lambanis, and we have trained them in such a way that they can go out and do, they can fit into the tourism somewhere. So, okay, some people we have trained them to run tourism, some people we have trained them to be guides, some people we have trained them to be cooks, some people we have trained them to put mehndi, some people we have trained them to make rangoli in the homestays. So whatever, wherever we could see that they have some talent, we have seen how we can connect that talent to the industry. This is another thing. We are working in Araku Valley. There is a tribal called Khond, interesting community that they stay on top of a hillock. Nobody likes to stay on top of a hillock. They stay at the bottom, but the Khond tribal, they stay on top of a hillock, and roads are coming into the tribal area, and the government, Andhra government wanted to do tribal tourism. They wanted to take the tribal land and do tourism there. Whereas these tribals, we gave them training. They came to Banarasi. We went there. We took a school group there. Today, the success is they went to the district collector, DC's office, and they said, look, we don't want you to take our land, and we don't want Harita to come there. Harita is the brand, five-star brand. We will do tourism ourselves. We know how to do rural tourism. We have been to Banavasi and seen it. So we know how to do it. The DC was shocked. So this is how it is. And we also have another place in Tumkur, which is called the Crafter Space. Okay. So some of the points, yes, I think we're coming to closes of the time, but some of the things that you can ponder over from our case study is identify a destination and then research what were the pain points, and then see how you can make it a better place for the community to stay, better place for the traveler to come in. There will always be gaps, and you as a social entrepreneur, you as a sustainable tourism person should find these gaps and solve it. Okay, and then it is nothing but you have to innovate, you have to collaborate, and you have to transform. Okay, let us stop here and be open to questions and from our case study. So if there are any questions in it, can you put it in the chat box, please?
Yes, if you have any questions, please ask, or you can raise your hand and you can join us on the stage so you can interact and ask directly.
In the meanwhile, while you're thinking about the question and typing it down, I will also like to tell you one more small story which happened. Banavasi, like I told you, is predominantly a Brahminical society. So we wanted to take the visitors into the houses of the people. Okay, but then the Brahmins were very skeptical. Oh, these are foreigners. We don't know about their cleanliness, and so they were very skeptical about taking our people into their homes. So now what do you do? So we started slowly taking the food from their houses and giving it in the guest house. Okay. And it so happens that, these women are really good cooks, but nobody really appreciates the cooking, not even their husband and children. So when our guests used to eat this food, they used to always run into that lady somewhere or the other, because Banavasi is a small place. You will run into that lady either in the temple or near the river where she's washing clothes. Somewhere you'll run into her. So that time they used to say, "Oh, we loved your cuisine. You're an amazing chef. You're an amazing cook. What are you making for us tomorrow?" And all those things. Okay, so slowly and steadily, when she started hearing so much, praise from people, she started thinking, "Why shouldn't I let them inside the house?" So slowly and steadily, this began. Today, it has moved to such a stage that Even if it is foreigners, they are allowed into the kitchen, and then they collaborate, and then they cook together, So the Indian lady is showing something to the foreigner, the foreign lady is teaching something. I don't know how they communicate. Some people don't understand Kannada, some others don't understand English, but they do it. So this is another story where we have brought in a change. We have empowered the women there. We have identified about 10 houses where we can go, you can eat, you can interact with them. Are there any questions, Vikas?
Yes, Kiran, we got a question from Viren. If you can see in the chat bot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's saying that you had give us the guideline as a student and new entrepreneurs could start small, but in the right direction. Also, how to overcome initial fears and apprehension, both within and among the community. Not all can approach CSR.
Yeah, not all can approach CSR. This is where the number 17 comes into the goal number 17. If you look at it, we have to partner. Okay. Uh, I also told you that we have partnered with NGOs. We have partnered with a lot of NGOs because ours is a for-profit organization. Okay. We also have an NGO, but we are not able to run that NGO well because I'm a single man show. It is very, very difficult to run too many things. So we have partnered with NGOs. Okay. So those NGOs uh, can help you to reach places. Now, I'll give you an example. There is a very good NGO in near Banavasi, which we have partnered with, and very soon, maybe it will start next month. We will be doing a guide training initiative. We have already identified about 15-20 people, both boys and girls, who will come there and who will be taught to become guides. Now, how is this happening? We have tied up with an NGO. That NGO has all the paperwork necessary. Okay, it will happen in this destination. So, like this, partnership are very, very important. So when you partner, then you can get your CSR funds from that NGO. Okay, so it is quite possible. So you must look at the various options available there, and if there is already a company in that area, okay, or if there is somebody who's come from your area, let us say Banavasi. How do I get some funds for Banavasi? We are now trying to solve this problem of plastic bottles. There are a lot of people who come, throw bottles there and go. Now, how do we solve this? We want to put up a recycling unit. Where do we get the money for this? We realize that Banavasi has quite a lot of people who have studied in Banavasi, but now in Bangalore or in abroad. So we have got a database of them. We are writing to them. They have shown interest in it, and we'll make it happen. Because ultimately, I am not a person from Banavasi. I come from somewhere else. So ultimately, when I'm doing something for the community, they will also chip in. And then we told the temple that, we are doing this. The temple is also chipping in. So it is just, you can also crowdfund. So plenty of options are available. Where there is a will, there is a way. And don't get disheartened. Plenty of opportunities are there. You can do really well. It is just that, you have to have the will. And working with the community, I don't know if I've answered that. It takes time. It doesn't come overnight. I went to Banavasi. I was working in Bangalore. I used to go every weekend there, and I used to talk to them. It took me 1 year. Friday evening, I'll give them a call and say, Anna, I'm coming. Shall I come there on Saturday morning? I'm taking the bus and I'm coming. Shall I come? Can we meet? Can we solve? And the response is to be there. You come. If you want to come, you come. If we are there, we'll meet you. If you are not there, you go back. So this was what happened in the first initial year. So nobody is going to put it on a platter for you. We have to struggle. We have to show that we are here for the long run. They have to test you. You have to test them. They have to understand you. You have to understand them. It's almost like a marriage. Once you know that you can trust each other, then the partnership grows.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kiran. There is a question that Vinaya Mahadevan is asking, or he's really appreciating your work. You are a true inspiration. His question is, how do the local react to the involvement of tourists in their personal life? Are they okay with it, or do they feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Um, see, when we're talking about Banavasi, I'll answer it with the same thing. When we are talking about Banavasi, I said that we don't give liquor, we don't give non-veg. Not that it is bad. There is no ethical reason why we should not give it, but that community is not comfortable with it. Okay, so that removes most of the corporate clients. So
I
what are the
think
clients? What are the clients that come? We are talking about school students, we're talking about college students, we're talking about families which want to teach culture and heritage. So those people come, and when they come, the community also loves them. And in one of the program, uh, we told the participants that you can go and choose any house and stay in their house, okay, so that you understand how it is to stay in their house. And they actually did so. The community is very, very receptive. If our tourists are going, they will call them inside the house. They'll say, okay, you come, you eat something which I've made, so all this happens. And then we also like tell the we also like uh, tell the travelers that you're a guest, not just to the guest house. You're a guest to the entire village. So you should follow this. You should not do this. So we actually make them a responsible traveler before itself. So they love it, and our travelers don't litter, and they are very sensitive about the culture. We give them a little bit of understanding of what they should do, what they should not do before itself. You saw that even though they were foreigners, they were all in Indian attire. So once you do all this thing, the community will love them.
yes. There is another question, Kiran,
Yeah.
that what, according to you, are the ways to convince people in promoting rural tourism or developing tourism activities, or let's say how to make aware the community about tourism? You already give some kind of lights, but if you have direct answer to it, it would be nice.
Yeah. I think it takes a little time to make the participants, to make the community understand what type of tourism they want. Okay, so it is all about, like I said in one of the slides, it is very important for you to get into the community. How does one do that? You go and immerse yourself in that community. Go on a yatra, like you have the Jagriti Yatra, which Tata's used to sponsor, or take a sabbatical and go and stay there. Understand the community. Once you understand the community, there are some key decision makers in the community. Temple could be one of it, or the farmers union could be one of it, or the tradesman could be one of it. So you will have to work with them, and you will have to work with not only the community, you will have to work with the panchayat, and you'll have to work with the assistant commissioner, the DC district commissioner. You will have to work with all these people. It is not going to be easy, but it is going to be very, very fulfilling, because once they know that, okay, you're here for their good, amazing. Then, you can count on anything. Today, I can safely say we can handle any situation because I'm working with the community. I don't say I'm a solo entrepreneur anymore, because this idea of solo has become too romanticized. I work with the community. I can fall back on the community for any problem. And there is one Kanavali lady who said that, Kiran, as long as you're alive, whenever you want to come, you can come and eat in our Kanavali. Kanavali is a small restaurant. So these are the changes will happen. But yeah, you have to win the trust of them. Start slowly, start somewhere. I would suggest that you start by solving some of their problem. Identify what is the problem, go and solve that problem. And when you're solving the problem, you will actually come across people who are interested in solving the problem, build from there, and then go to this place of what you want to do with the community.
Okay, I think that was well said. He had the same like extension of the question, that how do you tie up the place where there is no NGO or hardly a corporate support or any help from the government. So how this local people response? Do they rich local people sponsor this type of cause? Means the well settled people in the community.
Yeah, right. And the next session, uh, Mrs. Naidu is going to talk about how the government can help you, because she works with the government. and she's done great things with the government. So you can ask her about the government and how it helps. Of course, government also helps, but she's the best person for it, because we have not worked with the government. What we realized is, like, we will create models that can be replicable anywhere you should be able to do it. I was talking to you about Kond tribal in Araku Valley. Araku Valley is in Andhra Pradesh. It's a tribal belt. There we wanted to do tourism. So we had the same problem as you did. Who's going to support? Is the government going to support? Are the rich people going to support? No. The government is not supporting because they had their own vested interest. They wanted to take the tribal land and build there. So they were not helping. So what did we do? We mobilized the youth. There were about 25 youth, amazing youth. And we said, okay, we will take you to Banavasi. We'll show you what rural tourism is all about. And then we will also go there. We got them to Bangalore. We showed them so many things that they said that, okay, we will build huts and we will give rural stays in huts. Kond used to make old huts. We will make that type of huts. We will make people stay there. And then we will give them local cuisine, and we will teach them how to hunt crabs. We will teach them how to catch fish. We will teach them how to tap toddy from the trees. So this is what they said. So you don't have to, like, think in terms of like mainstream tourism, main buildings and all that. Think small, you can, like, get started.
Yes, well said. That's good. So I think we don't have any more question. Let me check in the other question box. Yes,
Right.
got some. Shashi is asking, is there any other way apart from the purchasing local handicraft to support this community? Like, okay, that's like very common or visible, you can say, act which we see, that we go and we buy local stuff. Is there any other way? Can we see some innovation or some other ideas on this?
Yeah.
I think because I can start my session with the children, I have all the answers for their questions, which are very, very apt and relevant. That you can start my presentation, and I'll continue with what Kiran has said. Thank you, Kiran, for giving me this, continuation of what you're talking, and I would take it further with absolutely amazing work what you are doing with Banvasi.
Thank you, ma'am. It's good to see you. Please continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So,
thank you, Vikas.
Kiran, thank you very much for joining us today, and many questions or continue talk.